Narcissism is often confused with confidence, arrogance, or self-love, but this misunderstanding hides what narcissism really is. At its core, narcissism is not strength, but protection. It develops when a person learns early in life that being authentic is unsafe. When emotional needs are ignored, when love feels conditional, or when validation replaces emotional safety, the psyche adapts. The individual learns that being admired is safer than being known. So instead of building a stable inner self, they construct an image. This image becomes a psychological shield designed to attract approval, attention, and control. Over time, the person identifies with this persona so deeply that any threat to it feels like a threat to their identity. This is why criticism feels unbearable. It is not experienced as feedback, but as danger. When the image cracks, underlying fear and shame surface, triggering defensive reactions such as anger, blame, denial, or emotional withdrawal. Another central feature of narcissism is difficulty with empathy. This does not always mean a lack of feeling, but empathy requires vulnerability, and vulnerability once felt unsafe. As a result, relationships become transactional. People are valued for what they provide: validation, reassurance, admiration, or emotional regulation. When those disappear, connection weakens. Narcissistic relationships often begin with intensity. Attention feels intoxicating, closeness feels immediate, and the bond forms quickly. But this is not intimacy. It is idealization. As closeness increases, exposure feels threatening, and the dynamic shifts. Warmth becomes inconsistent, affection becomes conditional, and subtle criticism replaces care. The partner becomes confused, questioning themselves and trying harder to restore what once felt real. This confusion is not accidental. Narcissistic dynamics destabilize perception. One moment you are valued, the next you are dismissed. Over time, self-trust erodes. Gaslighting may appear in subtle ways, where feelings are minimized and reality is reframed. Boundaries are treated as rejection, and empathy flows in one direction. Leaving these relationships feels difficult because the nervous system becomes conditioned to instability. This is known as trauma bonding, where interwritten validation creates emotional dependency. Healing begins with clarity. Narcissism is not driven by power, but by fear. Fear of being ordinary. Fear of being insignificant. Fear of being unlovable without the mask. Understanding this does not excuse the harm, but it explains the pattern. When you stop personalizing the behavior, you begin to regain your sense of self. Clarity restores emotional safety, and that is where recovery starts. If this felt familiar, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more psychology insights and secrets of the mind.